Hello everyone, this is Garrett and this is Serious Sam 2 and we are about to do level 16, the Wheels of Fortune.
Alright, I've always wanted to ride in one of those things. Damn! What is this?
And all the little ducks stopped moving, which is kind of odd considering when we start the level there's actually no one here.
You need to spin all 3 wheels. You'll need to find 3 coins and bring them to the cash desk.
And that's exactly what we're gonna do. Now every time we pick up a coin, it's gonna spawn a whole bunch of guys, and we're just gonna take this slow because this can get quite hectic. So, picking up the first coin, which makes that thing all glowy, and it makes that thing all sparkly. And the sparkles spawn a whole bunch of these flan dudes. And they take a while before they start attacking. They want to go into this neat little formation. And preferably, we're going to kill as much as possible of these guys before they have a chance of really doing anything with that formation. Kind of hope that grenade was going to hit because it would take care of a lot of them in one go, but it's not going to happen. But fortunately, they all sit next to each other, so for the most part, you can just go left and right and you should be fine. I'm going to strafe a little bit forward as well just to make sure that the ones that are on the left of me are not just going to shoot me in the face. And we took care of that with relative ease. Now there's a whole bunch of these little NPC dudes who carry around little boxes of health and armor and whatnot. Takes them a while to actually drop it, but it is fairly useful to get. And I'm mostly just waiting for more stuff to spawn while we are picking up things, really. I don't want it to get too crazy. You can pick up the coin and then immediately place it in the thing and then get the next coin immediately as well, but it can just become a complete and utter nightmare if you try to do things too quickly. Everything will just spawn at once and you'll just most likely die. And honestly, it's not really my thing. So we are just gonna take it slowly but steadily, taking care of one group of enemies at a time. Fortunately, I think you can actually place the coins inside the things without it spawning new enemies. It's just picking up the coin itself, which usually spawns a bunch of enemies. The problem is, it usually plays a little cutscene after placing the coin in one of these huts, and you won't be able to do anything unless you skip it. And I'm going to skip the cutscenes. But putting the second one in, or the first one rather, we get access to the second coin, and we get a whole bunch of extra ammo as well. We're actually completely filled up on Uzi ammo right now, so I'm just gonna skip it entirely. And arguably, it might be good to use a serious bomb here, and I'm probably actually gonna do it near the end, because there's actually a serious bomb all the way in the corner over there, but I don't really want to pick that up right now. Right now, I'm just gonna focus on getting those coins, because in the end, we're gonna have to get those coins anyway, and we're gonna just about go to that bomb by taking the normal route as well. So taking it slow and accidentally getting hit by 2 of these guys, which shows you the amount of damage these guys can do, which is quite frankly quite ridiculous. But as long as you're careful and don't just blindly run into one of them, you should generally be fine. My health is a little bit on the low side right now, so I'm actually gonna run to the leftmost corner of this place and try to get a health power up while taking care of all the enemies that are trying to kill me with rockets and whatnot. Arguably, it would be good to keep one of the, like a bunch of these huts in between you and this red dude, which is shooting rockets at us, which is kind of what we're trying to do right now, which is why we're standing over here. And also these guys have kind of awkward pathfinding. They kind of want to go over the bridge, but simultaneously they also kind of don't, and they end up just going left and right a bunch if they're already on the other side of the bridge. So it's kind of a safe place to just hang out here in general. But I'm mostly here just because my health was that low and I don't really want to die, obviously. The red dude, I think, is trying to find his way towards me now, though. So I'm gonna have to move around a little bit. You can kind of see him in the distance. It's probably kind of hard to see because YouTube and the color green everywhere usually ends up in a whole bunch of pixelated garbage. But unfortunately, there's really nothing I can do about that. So just imagine that there's a red dude over there shooting rockets at us. You can see the rockets probably at least, so that's good. But we took care of that. And it spawns the next wave of dudes, which is just a whole bunch of these clowns. And again, we're just going to funnel them through this bridge, because there are just so many of them. You can actually generally just shoot a couple grenades in that general direction, and it'll usually cause quite a chain reaction, because when they explode, they actually hit each other as well. And it just ends up nearly destroying all of them at once, which is absolutely fantastic. Obviously, due to the fact that it's a lot less to worry about. Now, it would be good if we could get another health power-up and armor power-up somewhere over here, because otherwise it's going to be a bit scary, but there's only going to be one wave of enemies left after this, I do believe. And I think this should spawn a bunch of health and armor as well. Yeah, there's some armor over there now. And there's some health in the middle here as well. So overall, we could be doing a lot better. But we're fine, really. It's not too much to worry about. When we leave this area, we're actually immediately going to get a 100 health power up as well, so we should probably be good. However, when we move closer to the coin, it actually spawns these guys immediately. We get an extra life, which is pointless to me, but it makes a fun little sound. But there's just that many enemies already. We've killed enough enemies to get 10,000 points up to this point already. It's pretty crazy, honestly. But moving along, you can also get some bags of coins again. But I'm not gonna focus on those, unfortunately, because I don't really care about them. But getting the coin and watching the little cutscene showing us where the coin needs to go. And it spawns a whole bunch of ammo. Ammo is quite good, obviously. And we're gonna place the coin. This is kind of the exception to the rule. The exception to the rule. Also, this makes those things spin, in case you didn't notice. And we are going to run back as quickly as possible. And the reason why I said I kind of wanted to keep my serious bomb until the end is probably going to be obvious pretty soon. Maybe you actually need to pick up the ammo before something actually happens. Which I actually wasn't 100% sure about. But now we verified this. And yeah, we can use this knowledge for later, I suppose. I'm a bit confused why there's not the thinging. Usually, there we go. So this is where things can get a little bit spooky, because once again we're dealing with these ball enemies. Only this time they are in a slightly larger quantity than that we're used to. I'm actually running backwards because of this, because there are just that many of them. And I'm gonna take care of a whole bunch of them with a serious bomb, because it makes everything a lot less scary. And we're gonna have an extra one in a second anyway. And arguably this is probably one of the better places to use it anyway, just because our health isn't super right now. Like, it could be a lot better, obviously, due to the fact that we got hit by a lot of explosions in the second wave. And yeah, it just ended up being a bit of a mess, really. So I prefer to just use it here to make this area a little bit easier. While these guys don't deal a whole lot of damage, they do small amounts of damage in large numbers, obviously, just because there's that many of them. And that one actually hit quite hard because of the just speed it was going at. I think the damage is actually dependent on how fast I actually bump into you, which is pretty impressive, honestly. But I think we should be fine. I probably actually used the serious bomb a little bit early, but they were pretty close to me at the time, and it seemed like a good idea. And usually I don't even bother using a serious bomb here anyway, so it probably didn't even help us that much. But I try to avoid using serious bombs anyway, because for one, I'm cheap and I want to save them until the very end of the game, but at the same time, at the very end of the game, you probably won't even need it anymore, honestly. Though I will say that the final level is a great place to waste a large amount of serious bombs, but we are not even close. We are in level 16 right now, and I think the last level was like 42 or something crazy like that. But we are just gonna ignore that fact and just move on, because there's a crate over there. I mentioned it previously, but there is a serious bomb in the corner here, and here it is, waiting for us. It's not even a secret area, which I always thought was a bit odd, considering it's kind of hard to see and it's inside a box, and it might not be immediately obvious, but this game is somewhat arbitrary when it comes to secret areas sometimes. It's kind of strange, but what are you gonna do?
I think we're getting close to the main square. Proceed through this street, and we should be there in no time.
Indeed.
Can't wait to give my birthday surprise to Prince Chan.
So here's a box that says top secret, so you can probably guess what that means. But we're gonna focus down these enemies first, because there is gonna be a fair amount of them. And that box contains a 100 health power-up, and we want to take care of all these guys that are spawning here. It spawns both guys on the floor as in the sky, and it's just large enough numbers to be frightened for a long period of time. And usually this is the area where I'd prefer to have a large amount of health, because these guys can get kind of crazy. They can attack from various directions, like these guys can go around this house, and they can very easily ambush you from behind if you're standing kind of in the middle over there, trying to take care of the guys which are already spawning over there. Sometimes they get a little bit stuck, as you can see, but overall they usually know what they're doing. And I'm just going to waste a lot of my Uzi ammo to take care of these guys. I don't want to get kicked in the face, because that does hurt a little bit. And again, I'm a bit worried about my health. I keep thinking I can hear an enemy to the left of me, but I think it's actually just the guys that are to the right of that house over there. And look at the sheer number of enemies right now. It's quite worrying, as you can probably see. And there's also one of those red dudes shooting missiles at us from the top there, so I'm going to try to see if we can't get a house in between us, so he won't shoot at us as much and we can take care of him afterwards. And I'm just using as many of my grenades as possible right now. We're going to get a fair amount of grenades during the entirety of this level, so it's a good time to use them, honestly. And try to avoid those ranged attacks and try to just survive, really. Alright, now let's destroy that thing and get our secret heart.
Secret health has been collected.
Because we were already below 200 health, and therefore we will get the maximum usage out of it, which is exactly what I was going for. And our health is looking pretty good, actually. There's another 50 health power-up waiting for us up ahead, and I'm not actually sure if you can go back for that, which is a little bit annoying, because on the one hand I don't want to waste it by just only getting 12 health, but on the other hand I'm worried. I would prefer to just like leave it there. And I think I'm just going to risk it, honestly. I think I'm just going to keep it over here and hope I can go back for it. Now, this place is another place which can get a little bit crazy due to the sheer amount of enemies that are spawning. And honestly, we don't have the greatest weapons right now. Like, these guys have a pretty large amount of health, honestly. And we don't have the best weapons to take care of these guys right now. Plus, they just keep spawning on several different sides, and it's just a worrying experience overall. But I think right now we should be fine for a while. So I'm actually gonna go up here and spawn some stuff. Usually going up here far enough. There we go. So you want to take care of this as quickly as possible, because it does spawn 2 of those laser dudes simultaneously, and they can be they spawn on opposite sides of each other. And I'm trying to just kind of cheese it out over here just for fun, but yeah, when you get sandwiched in between these guys, it can just deal a lot of damage to you. And even now, I'm honestly taking way more damage than I expected to take right there. But fortunately, it is sort of worthwhile. I think we ended up losing more health from this than we actually gained, but oh well, it happens sometimes. Plus, there's an extra life over here, which is what I was really doing it for. I kind of thought there was more health here, actually, but I guess not. There are grenades, at least, and grenades are actually quite useful here, due to the sheer amount of enemies we're going to be facing. And I guess we might as well go back for that 50 health now. And we can indeed still go back for that, which is good. We could go back for the ammo as well, but I can't really be bothered. Now, I think one of those boxes actually contains a damage power-up, so I'm just going to throw a grenade in there. And I can't see it. There we go. This thing is going to be really good. This thing is definitely going to show dividends, because there is just... I'm scared of this area, honestly. Like, the next area is going to have a damage power-up as well. So I'm just going to use this damage power-up for the most part over here. But simultaneously, I'm just quite scared, because usually the way I did this, like before I even knew of the damage power-up being there, was I just go back, honestly. Like, I just go back to like the little gate over here and just funnel them through these 2 little corridors over here. Because there's just that many of them. Look at how many enemies are currently already coming for us. We've been using this damage power-up for over 30 seconds now, and they're still coming for us. And without a damage power-up, this place just gets nasty really, really quickly. The damage power-up is just a godsend, honestly. And I'm actually going to run forward here, because it ends up spawning a little bit more enemies, and we end up getting a little bit more value out of our damage power-up as well. And 6 more seconds. Let's see if we can throw a grenade in there, and we managed to get quite a lot of them there, which is good. Would have liked to get a little bit more, but it only lasts for 60 seconds. If it lasted any longer, it's already pretty overpowered, honestly. And if it lasted any longer, it would probably just be a bit silly, really. But let's just keep shooting that guy standing on the top there. Hate that guy so much. He can deal so much damage in such a small amount of time, and it's just nothing I really want to deal with, but what are you going to do? Just going to destroy all these boxes here because we want to get as much Uzi ammo as possible. And there's a lot of it here, which is good. Plus another 100 health power-up, which I kind of don't want to pick up right now. Because we're already at max, so it seems a bit pointless. Plus some more grenades. Very nice. Now we go to the final area of this level. Just gonna grab all these armor power-ups and try to avoid the 100 health thing over there. And immediately again gonna go for that damage power-up because again it's gonna spawn a lot. Arguably it might be a little bit better to save it for later due to the enemies we will be fighting after this damage power-up runs out. But I'm scared. I am quite scared, honestly. I'm scared of this entire level and just about every level that comes afterwards because this is like the difficulty curve definitely goes up in this episode, honestly. It goes up after the first episode and it goes up after the second episode, and it just sort of keeps going up, which is kind of interesting. And it definitely does get harder and harder as you progress through the game, with an exception of a couple levels here and there, but it can get quite spooky, and that's why I just like to be safe. And I think we should probably be able to take care of the enemies that spawn after this power-up runs out without too much hassle, considering how good our health and armor has ended up being in the end. Because it was a bit low at the start of this level, but right now our health is still completely full. Our ammo is a bit on the low side, arguably, but it's fine. We still have a lot of grenades, at least, and we can take care of a lot of these guys very quickly. Clowns are no one's friend in this game, and it's a bit of a problem. They're actually kind of overpowering me right now, honestly, but I'm just going to spam some grenades here so we don't have to worry about any of it, because there's still a whole bunch of grenades in this area anyway, so we might as well use a couple. Plus, we're getting another 12 over here right now. Now, these are the enemies I was worried about. Like, these red dudes, they spawn in quite a large amount of them at once, and it's honestly not very great. And also, I should mention, you can actually go upstairs, but it spawns another 2 of these red dudes, and honestly, I don't think it's worthwhile at all. There is just nothing up there which you can really use to your advantage during the battle. It's sort of... I'm probably going to go up there anyway after this, but during this, like during all of this nonsense, it's just a little bit too much to handle all at once, honestly. Now, I'm just going to do this before I forget it. In the previous level, there was a secret bunny killed by a ninja chicken, and over here...
Secret ninja chicken has been found.
Is the secret ninja chicken. He looks pretty cool. He has a lot of things on his mind, and it's no different from any other chicken. So, yeah, it's pretty much the exact same thing, only with a little costume, and it looks cute. And before we leave the level, which is right there, the exit is already right there. Even though it says the estimated time is 30 minutes for the level, it's probably around 20 would be better, obviously, but this game is a bit weird. Like the previous level, it was pretty spot on, honestly, but in this one, it's just way overestimate for some reason. But it's fine. We're just gonna shoot these guys. I jumped down immediately because being sandwiched in between 2 of those laser dudes is bad. Being sandwiched in between these guys is just instant death. So I cannot survive that personally. I'm sure there's people who can, but I cannot survive up there. So I just jumped down for safety's sake. And see if we can get some cool stuff over here. I think there's only points here though. But we got another extra life and a bunch of health, which doesn't actually carry over to the next level, which is therefore a bit pointless. But hey, we got an extra life, and that's what matters in the end. So we're just gonna leave in here.
Hi, this is George Bignar, reporting live from Trifang City. The citizens are gathered here to celebrate their Majesty's birthday. The ceremony will start any second, with beautiful fireworks and entertainment program. There are even certain indices that Prince Chan will perform his latest musical poem. The citizens are eagerly awaiting the ceremony to start, and are truly honored to be here. Enjoy the event, live brought to you by Gnar News Network.
That's awful. Now it's my turn. Ah! Okay, who's gonna go first, scumbags? Time out! I think we should wait for the old guy to leave. I'll wait if you wait. Deal? Hurry, old man. Save yourself. Oh, for crying out loud. Will you go already? Okay, guys, let's do it.
Prince Chan is escaping.
Oh. Damn. What now?
I bet he's heading to Chan's palace. Let's go there.
I wish I would get that balloon. But yeah, not quite 30 minutes as the game says, and while the game calls it the Gnar, I refuse. I'm just gonna keep calling them Gnars because it seems more natural to me. But that was the end of level 16 and the end of this video. So I hope you enjoyed it so far. The next time we play, we're going to do level 17, which is his place. Level 17. Bye-bye.